guys, so we have a big breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. United States of America is going to stop participating in some NATO coordination mechanisms if Europe does not strengthen its defense capabilities and involvement in alliance project by 2027. It was reported by Reuters on Friday, December the 5th, citing 5 sources with knowledge of discussion. All right, so this is a big breaking news, and I just posted a video not too long ago. You have Germany. Germany is putting out a new military law policy for 18 years old to sign up. It's mandatory to fill out the applications. And for women's is voluntary. But Germany is stepping up. France, Emmanuel Macron is also stepping up. So you have NATO preparing for worst case scenario, war. And I do have some more videos coming up. You have another country, another NATO alliance to declare a state of emergency to prepare their military. So we're going to see what's going on here, guys. Reuters is putting out this bombshell news. The U.S. sets 2027 deadline for Europe-led NATO defense. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Once again, thank you so much for your support. If you can, triple check your notification bell. Yesterday was not a great day, not only for me, but for many YouTubers out there. Something broke on the platform. And then I woke up this morning and basically half of the internet were down nationwide. I mean, there was some really bad outage. And I don't know if this platform with other platforms and apps and Amazon and all them, big companies, I don't know if they adding something to the system that's hurting our views. But there's been a lot of strange activity in this platform ever since 2025, ever since we hit the year 2025. So pray for our channel, guys. Pray for our channel, and thank you again for your support. For those of you that want to help support this channel, we do have Patreon. $5 a month, we get you access to our live stream. Again, your support is what keeps us on air. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, guys. It says here once again, so you have the U.S. is going to stop participating. Look, I don't blame the U.S. We put more money than any other alliance in that NATO. We put like more than 70% or 80%. Everybody else is putting 2, 3, 5. I mean, why is it that the U.S. got to put all the money into the alliance? The U.S. is going to stop participating in some NATO coordination mechanism if Europe does not strengthen its defense capabilities and involvement in alliance projects by 2027. It was reported by Reuters on Friday, December 5th. Citing 5 sources with knowledge of the discussion. According to the newspaper, Pentagon officials handed over the ultimatum to European officials this week. The sources said that the U.S. is demanding that Europe contribute more to NATO defense capability. Yeah. Period. Why is it that we have to put again a whole bunch of money and the rest is not putting nothing? And Joe basically allowed it when he was in power. Don't worry, guys, I got you. I just raised taxes to the Americans and they're gonna pay more. According to the newspaper, Pentagon officials handed over the ultimatum to European officials this week. The sources said that the U.S. is demanding that Europe contribute more than NATO's defense capabilities, from intelligence to missiles. However, Achieving this by 2027 seems unrealistic to some European officials. It also sounds like US want NATO to prepare for war. You guys need to get ready. Okay, you guys don't have no defense. You guys lack inventory. You need to work something out because you can't go to war with the bear. You guys won't survive not even a month. The U.S. officials told their counterparts that if Europe does not meet the 2027 deadline, the U.S. may stop participating in some NATO defense coordination mechanism, the article says. Well, the U.S. is giving them 1 year. The U.S. is giving NATO, all the countries, more than 31 countries or 32 countries, you guys got 1 year. I want to see something on the table. We're not gonna be putting more money in 80% of it, and you guys only put like a few percent. In addition, during the meeting, Pentagon representative noted that Europe's achievement in strengthening its defense capabilities after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 are unsatisfactory and insufficient. Reuters quotes sources as saying, man. As the Ukrainian news agency earlier reported on November 30th, 2025, Bloomberg reported, citing its own sources, that the latest NATO exercises in Romania showed how much European members of the alliance depend on the U.S. And that's the problem. They always depend on us. Again, we're supposed to be doing this together. You guys look up to us, when it comes to money and weapons and stuff. But NATO is supposed to be, all together as one. But again, that's their problem. They got too used to, I wouldn't say free handouts. They just got used to being taken care of. And that's the problem, because it's happening here within our country too. Millions are so used to being taken care of. Again, there was a time that, people used to be independent. Country used to work together. But now it's just all messed up stuff going on. On November 17, German Defense Minister Boris said that the aggressor country, Russia, may strike NATO by 2029. I don't know why these people get these 2029 or 2028. Again, it's just them assuming that that's what's going to happen. But there's nothing to back that up. There is nothing to back this up. It's just them putting out all these baloney, if you want to call it prediction. But there's no source, nothing to back that up. On November 6, NATO Secretary General mocked the nuclear threat of the bear Russian dictator Vladimir. And you guys already know Putin said that, they have their nukes on standby. Now, I want to share this information too. Okay? Because a lot of people don't know this, but European Union, they are buying gas and oil from Russia. So it's crazy that the Europeans are helping Ukraine when it comes to defense and protecting their airspace and stuff like that. But at the same time, the European is helping Russia when it comes to buying their oil and continue this war operation. So it's like European is helping both. It's just crazy. That's why Donald got furious and said, "What are you guys buying oil from them?" There's a reason why Russia is still going on with the war, because you guys are buying their oil. I can understand in Europe they need oil and gas because it gets really cold up there in December. Winter time. It says here the EU countries have announced that Russian oil and gas will no longer return to the European market. This decision will remain in force regardless of the outcome of peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. European Commissioner for Energy, Dan, has announced this Euronews report. Now, once again, Dan reiterated that the irreversibility of the EU's decision to abandon Russian energy carriers. Now, even when there's peace, we won't buy Russian gas again. Our agreement will stand even after a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine is reached. Here's the thing. Eventually, they're going to buy our oil, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. I mean, I don't know how's that going to work out. I don't know. They have to build a pipeline, but they eventually going to buy our oil and gas. If they're not going to be, excuse me, guys. If they're not going to be buying Russian oil, eventually they're going to buy it for somewhere else. He emphasized that the European Union has no right to repeat the mistake of becoming dependent on Russia, and assured that the refusal will take place gradually without negative consequences for the member states. And this is when everybody's talking about energy, transforming into this no more gas or oil, just energy stuff. Tesla, and just the new future stuff, which I think is not going to be good. It's just not going to work out. At the same time, you have Dan criticized the position of Hungary, which plans to challenge the gas embargo proposal. I don't really understand these countries, Hungary and Slovakia. I think we should stand together, shoulder by shoulder, against Putin to help our friends in Ukraine. As the Ukrainian news agency earlier reported, despite the sanctions, the European Union became the third largest trading partner of the Russian Federation in 2024, with a trade turnover of euros 67.5 billion. Now, the People's Republic of China has started to trade less with the aggressor country Russia. In the first half of 2025, trade between the countries fell to its lowest level in the last 3 years. Russian LNG reports to the EU reached a record level in 2024 despite the sanctions. All right. So, again, at the very end, it's all about the oil. If you kind of think about it, it's about the oil. Same thing going on with the Caribbean, Venezuela. I mean, a lot of people think Venezuela is like, is this cheap country. No, they're not. No, they're not. Those America, South America, nah, man. Again, they filled with oil. They're filled with oil. And I do believe that there's a possibility. A lot of it's not only because of the gang, the cartels, but I do believe it's because of the oil too. You have Guyana, I think that's the territory right next to Venezuela. Venezuela, I think they took that territory, and that's another reason why U.S. is out there. Guyana is also a huge, very important territory when it comes to oil. You got this one here going on. Indian refineries buy Russian oil at discount. So again, you get India and I think China, they got slapped with sanctions. They keep buying oil from Russia. I wanna bring this one up really quick, guys. There was a huge massive hit, and this happened a few hours ago. But man, they really dropped the hammer on the bear. So Defense Force hit. Look at this, the Sinzhuan refinery and seaport in Krasnodar Krai of Russia. All right, so this is another oil facility, if I'm not mistaken. See, it's all about the oil. They're really getting hit. They're getting hammered. On the night of December 5th. They had to say it like that, like it's like Tale from the Crypt story. On the on the night of December 5th, the Ukrainian Defense Forces struck the infrastructure of the Temeruk seaport in the Krasnodar Krai of the Russian aggressor state, which is involved in supplying the Russian army. In addition, the capacity of the oil refinery in the Samara Oblast of the Russian Federation were hit. And I did watch the video. I mean, that thing was blazing last night. It was reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Now it says here, as part of the reduction of the military and economic potential of the Russian aggressor, on the night of December 5th, units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces struck the infrastructure. Now, it is indicated that this port is particular ships, general, liquid, liquefied, natural gas, and chemical cargo, bulk, and dry bulk cargo. It is involved in supplying of the Russian occupation army. It was recorded on the territory of the facility, followed by a fire. The extent of the damage is currently being assessed. Also, at night, the capacity of the oil refinery in the Samara Oblast of the Russian Federation were damaged. Its annual refinery capacity is 7 to 8.9 million tons of oil per year. It is also involved in the supply of the aggressor armed forces. A UAV hit was recorded on the territory of the plant, followed by a fire. According to the preliminary information, one of the refinery's units was damaged. They're really going after these oil facility. Ukrainians really going after them. Also, the result of the recent damage to the Saratov refinery have been confirmed. The primary oil treatment unit, the ALU AVT-6, was damaged. As of the beginning of December 2025, the refinery was completely suspended primary crude oil processing and is operating at less than 50% of its design capacity, with key units completely shut down. As the Ukrainian news agency earlier reported, a drone attack on port infrastructure took place in Tamaruk, Krasnodar Krai on the night of December 5th. In the region, the presence of damage and fire was confirmed. Alright guys, so this is all the information when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We are definitely seeing Bible prophecy of wars happening. And, I'm not going after Donald. I know a lot of people love Donald. But, again, Donald has stopped many wars. But this one here, he hasn't. And it's very difficult. He even said this is the most difficult one. So, again, I don't see the ending of the European, Russian, NATO stuff. Again, all I'm seeing is escalating and preparation for war. We are definitely seeing Bible prophecy when it comes to nation against nation. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the videos I posted today. The link will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching, guys. God bless you all. Till next time later. Peace.